first view, the new Sony Xperia Z Ultra looks like a regular Android phone from Sony. But that's depending on the proportions, as you can see when I'm bringing my hand into the picture, because this one is a big one. It's 6.5 inches. It's 92 by 179 millimeters by 220 grams, but it's extremely thin, just 6.5 millimeters, and that's why you can hold it without any problems in your palm. And I don't have a big one, and as you can see, it's really just not closely, it's just relaxed and no problem to talk with that schnitzel on your ear for let me say hours. I don't know, I didn't try, but I can imagine that you can do, because it's a great feeling in your palm. And especially if you compare this one, that's the Xperia Z. I hope you can see this one in the video, because that was thin as we saw it with its 7.9 millimeters, and now we are going to 6.5 millimeters, and I hope you can see the difference. That's really amazing, especially if you look like the proportions of both one. And you may remember the Xperia Z was that one with 5-inch display, and first with the full HD display, and we have the same. If you may look at the front, please, this one is kind of the same display concerning the resolution. It's again 1080 by 1920 pixels, just the same like on the Xperia Z, but coming to this one, you have a smaller, of course, a smaller pixel resolution, pixel density. This one, the Z one, set that record of 443 ppi. Now we're going down to 342 ppi, but nevertheless, as you can see, and let me go a little bit closer, you nevertheless can read on those tiny text without any problem. Also in the menu, in the app launcher, it's no problem at all. But nevertheless, we have to talk about that. The resolution has gone down a little bit. Nevertheless, it's a great one, and especially because Sony has done a lot of things, let me call it like this. Now I've got the term, a lot of things concerning the display quality, especially if you remember the problem with the Z. Or let me go out a little bit, so that's the way. The Z once had that problem, as you may remember. It's not a viewing angle stable like normal, because as soon as you have a wider viewing angle, the colors and the contrasts are going down extremely. So it really looks like a gray and milky surface, and it was not just that big fun to look at it if you do not look straight down to this one. And if you compare the Xperia Z Ultra to this, and I'm trying to have the same viewing angle on both, I hope you can see that this problem has gone. It's not the same on the Ultra, so you have that only minor typical shifts of colors and contrast, but not at all in that size factor from the Z at this time. So you have a great picture or image on the Ultra, even looking from wider viewing angles. That's coming from three different features. The first one is called Triluminos. You may know from Sony TVs, and this is LCD, and is all LCD on Sony smartphones. And the Ultra is LCD too, but and that means that you have a backside illumination. Normally this is done with white LEDs, but in case of Triluminos you have blue LEDs. They are covered with some chemical things to break up into the three ground color, basic colors. That's green, blue, and red. And especially the LCD subpixels are green, blue, and red. So you can have with that pure white, you can reach those subpixels in the same level. So that shall produce more natural colors and more color tones in between, so a more vivid picture. I can't see anything with this one, I mean any differences with this photo over here, and it's not the time and place to do great or long comparisons, but nevertheless it sounds great, and we have to wait for the final product to test that, but it really seems to be great. The second one, it's called opti-contrast, and this shall produce higher contrast by reducing the reflections. Well, I find the surface reflecting as well as on the Z. I don't see any difference, but we have not a normal situation here with all those lamps around me, so let's wait for this one too. And the last one that's interesting, it's called X-Reality for smartphones. X-Reality you might know from your Sony TV set, because this one is comparing not only pixel by pixel and optimizing this pixel by pixel, but comparing the whole picture, analyzing it, and so on this the software knows, all right, this is a face, this is landscape, here we have movement or whatever. And to know this one, you can kind of intelligent optimization of that picture, so that the faces have a more natural color tone and on the skin tone, and landscapes with great vivid colors and whatever. So this sounds interesting, and this is becoming possible because you can imagine that this needs a lot of analyzing and computing power. This is possible because we're talking about a brand new CPU. It's the Snapdragon 800. As far as I know, it's a first device it's built into, because we just had that Snapdragon 600 at the moment, and this one was great already. So I can't wait to do benchmarks, but this is not the right place because we have beta hardware, beta software, so benchmark doesn't say anything. But I hope so that the final product will go up through the ceiling with 4 cores, 2.3 gigahertz, 2 gigabyte RAM. So that's a real rendering machine, and as you can see, that's the advantage, because this is a real smartlet, phablet, tablet, phablet, whatever combination of tablet and smartphone, especially because you don't need any app to use it in landscape format. Even the home screens and the app launcher, the menu, as you can see. So this is the out-of-the-box usage. So Surface, you know, from Sony and everything the same, but nevertheless that landscape mode is new, and that's the most natural thing you can use a smartphone, I guess, because our eyes are watching in landscape, and we have gone from 4 to 3 TVs to 16 to 9 by 9 TVs, not without a reason. So this is because that's the natural way, and especially if you hold it in your palm like this one, you can we can open that keyboard right here. So you can almost that typing system. I'm not familiar with that 10 fingers, but if I could, I guess, on that screen. Or let's see this one in the this format. Okay, here we go. This is, and especially if you compare to my finger, and it's not a small one, I guess, it's no problem at all to get your buttons without any problem. And of course, we have that swipe kind of swipe software where you know, this one, so that's in addition, but I guess you don't need it anymore because the buttons are this big. On the other hand, we have 8 megapixels camera on the Z. Let's go like this. We have had a 13 megapixels camera, so that's a little difference, but nevertheless videos are still shot in full HD. But now we come to the memory. First, we have there on this one, this is a slot for micro SIM and micro SD card. officially up to 65 gigabyte, 64, I'm sorry, 64 gigabyte. So you can expand the memory without any problem. And that was the same on the Z, like this one. But internal memory is 16 gigabyte only. And I find that we could have had 32 gigabyte because out of the box there are left 11.7 gigabyte, but this is beta software, so I guess around about 12, 12.5, maybe 13 gigabyte will be in the final version free for the user. And as you might know, beginning from Android 4, and this is Android 4.2.2, so newest version, and beginning from Android 4, you can't move apps to the SD card anymore without rooting your device. Unless you have a Samsung Galaxy S4, you might have heard that there is an update available right now where you can again move your apps to the SD card without rooting the device. So we see that it is possible if the manufacturer is taking care of that. So let's hope that Sony and other manufacturers will do again the same, but at the moment you don't have the chance to move your apps to the SD card, so you have to stay with your 12 internal gigabyte of memory. So you have to think if this one is enough for all your apps, for dates, your messages, whatever. You can move only to the SD card your multimedia data, Word docs, PDFs and whatever, and that's the biggest one, of course, but nevertheless you have to take care of that. So I guess, and the price Sony hasn't announced yet, but I guess it won't be the cheapest device in the world, so I guess 32 gigabyte would have been better, but all right. It has LTE and everything, of course, NFC, what you wish to, so we don't have to talk about features, I guess, but nevertheless, we have to talk about the capacity of the battery. Again, we have that, first it's IP55/57, so resistant to dust and water again, like the Z, of course, but again, it's a fixed battery built in, you can't remove it. And here we go, it just has 3000 milliampere hours. Compared to the to this one, to the Z, it's 2330 milliampere hours. So the ratio between battery size and display size is better, way better on the Z. It's around about 4% below the average of all smartphones at the moment. And here we are below 26% below the average concerning the ratio of battery size and display size. And if we compare then the Xperia Z to this one, then that's the Huawei Ascent Mate. And of course we can, plug it on. Yep, here we go. And sorry for that. So here we go. That's the, at the moment it was the smartphone with the biggest display, 6.1 inches, and now the Sony Xperia Z Ultra is the biggest with 6.4 gigabyte, 6.4 inch display size, diagonal. So this one was the biggest, and as you can see, it's yeah, especially concerning the size and everything, but it's way bigger. It's around about 9.6 millimeters in the average. It's a little bit less on the edges, a little bit more in the middle. But if you compare those, or let me go like this one, you'll see the difference. You know what I'm talking about. Don't start talking about design. That's a matter of taste, so that's not what I want to talk about, but that 4050 milliampere hours battery inside has a way better ratio than this one. Again, 12% above average, 26% below average. So this could be a real problem on the Z Ultra. The small battery concerned to the big screen, but on the other hand, we have that I guess the contact for docking stations or whatever. I haven't seen them yet, but at the moment I can guess that you have to plug in that somewhere. So you have to, if you're really using the Ultra as a working device, the one that it really is as a smart lid, so I guess you have to refill your battery during the day, because that could get a real problem. I hope this is enough for the first impressions of the Sony Xperia Z Ultra. It's coming in the third quarter this year, coming to Europe too, and prices aren't yet be announced, so let's wait for this one. This will be, I guess, very interesting. All right, thanks for watching. I hope to see you back soon, and take care.